morning, everybody. I'm Attorney General Josh Kaul, and I am joined today by a number of folks, including family members of Prince McCree, Senator LaTonya Johnson, Milwaukee Police Inspector David Feldmeyer, and then some folks who work to make the alert system work at our Department of Justice. So thank you all for being here. We are here today to announce the launch of the new Missing Child Alert, which broadens options for alerting the public in cases involving missing children. State Senator LaTonya Johnson, along with Senator Jesse James and Representatives Stubbs and Spiros, authored 2023 Wisconsin Act 272, also known as the Prince Act, which created this new alert. The act was named after 5-year-old Prince McCree, who went missing in Milwaukee, as well as, and it also recognizes 10-year-old Lily Peters, who went missing in Chippewa Falls. The new alert expands the criteria for issuing alerts for missing persons. A missing child alert, this new alert, will be issued when there's a child who is under the age of 18, at risk, and the child is believed to be incapable of returning home without assistance due to a physical or mental condition or disability. It also applies in cases where the child is under the age of 10, the child's location is unknown, it's within 72 hours of when the child disappeared, the situation does not qualify for another alert, like an Amber Alert. The child has been entered as missing into the National Crime Information Center, and there's sufficient information to disseminate to the public that could assist in locating the missing child. Now, the Missing Child Alert is going to be disseminated through the Wisconsin Crime Alert Network, as well as a wireless emergency alert, which will be sent to mobile devices that are up to a 5-mile radius from the child's last known location between the hours of 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. The way the alert will be disseminated will be very similar to the Silver Alert that is used in cases in which seniors are missing. It's also going to be disseminated on Wisconsin lottery terminals throughout Wisconsin and on Department of Transportation's dynamic messaging boards. For those of you who are watching, if your child goes missing, please contact law enforcement to report the incident right away. Local law enforcement will then work with the Wisconsin Department of Justice's Division of Criminal Investigation and other law enforcement partners to assess the next steps for finding the missing child. Through that partnership, the alerts will be issued. DCI, our Division of Criminal Investigation, is the agency in the state that ultimately issues the alerts. Let me just say that this is a really significant step forward in our alert system. Having a child go missing is any parent's nightmare. I think any parent would tell you that. And this alert system is one that will help us locate more missing kids in the state of Wisconsin. Actually, it's my privilege to be able to tell you today that the first missing child alert was issued earlier this week. It was based on a missing child here in Milwaukee, and that child was recovered safely. So the alert is already having an impact and already making a difference, and we look forward to continuing to work to help bring missing kids home in the years ahead. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Senator LaTonya Johnson.
Good morning. I'm honored to be here today for the implementation of the Missing Child Alert, which is a critical step forward in protecting our children and ensuring their safe return home. This new alert system is designed to address the gaps in our current alert system and is brought about the passage of the Prince Act, named in memory of 5-year-old Prince McCree, who tragically lost his life after going missing in my neighborhood. But before Prince, there was a little girl named Lily Peters, and she went missing in 2022. She was just 10 years old, and she was from Chippewa Falls. Lily's family and the police department tried to get an Amber Alert for her, and without success, they weren't able to because Lily didn't meet the criteria. Lily was later found deceased. 1 year later, we had 5-year-old missing Prince McCree. Prince McCree lived 5 houses from me, so he was a neighbor. The Milwaukee Police Department tried not once but twice to get an Amber Alert issued for Prince, and they weren't able to. Prince also was later found deceased. 10-year-old missing Lily, 5-year-old missing Prince, 1 rural child, 1 urban child, 1 Caucasian, 1 African American. In many cases, people think that urban and rural areas have absolutely nothing in common. This bill shows that they do. But not only does this bill highlights the difference, not the differences, but the commonalities between urban and rural areas, it also helps to unite this state. The Department of Justice came together with the Wisconsin State Legislature. This is a bipartisan bill. And we worked together to make sure that we had the tools and the resources needed to pass this bill. So in a time where a lot of people think that government doesn't work, we do. And this bill is proof of that. Also, this bill is proof that regardless of the differences, regardless of the race, this state can unite around common causes. And behind this bill, we did. And I can't think of a better way for these 2 children to be remembered than helping to save the lives of other missing children, especially where the system failed them. There are some people that I desperately need to thank. First of all, I'd like to thank our Attorney General Josh Kaul and the Department of Justice. This bill would not have been possible without their help. They were there from day one, helping to structure the bill to make sure that the bill was at a state where it could be passed. I'd like to thank my co-authors, Senator Jesse James, Representative Sheila Stubbs, and Representative Spiros. They went to work in their caucuses to make sure that this bill passed, and they did a lot of heavy lifting. I'd like to also thank the Milwaukee Police Department. Without their advice, I would have never known that there was an issue and this bill wouldn't be possible. But lastly, I'd like to thank the media. So many times good bills in the state capitol, they go there to die. But because of your continuous coverage, because you refuse to allow this piece of legislation to cease to exist, we're here today. And as we've already heard, this bill has already saved a life. And I can't thank you enough for that, because I know the important part that you play in politics, regardless sometimes if we like the stories or not. You're there to do your job, and you definitely did your job with this piece of legislation. So a sincere thank you. Now I'd like to turn it over to Officer Fieldmeyer, but before he comes up, I'd like to turn it over to Prince's family so they can have a few words.
Well, we would like to thank everyone that put all this together, especially, LaTonya Johnson. She was there since day one. Now our son has a name out here and will be a hero to every kid out there. So we thank you guys a lot. We definitely do appreciate every single one of you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank everybody, and my son always wanted to be a hero. He wanted to be Spider-Man, and now his name is saving lives, so he's going to eternally save lives. He's always going to be a hero for everyone. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all. The Milwaukee Police Department is grateful for the opportunity to be a part of this collaboration. Our hearts go out to the McCray family and any other families who have not gotten resolution. with their missing family members. We thank our system partners and our community partners for spearheading this initiative. I am a father. No parent or family member should have to experience the stress and horror of not knowing where their loved one is or if they are safe. With this new act, together with our system and community partners, hopefully we can mitigate some of those challenges that we saw earlier where we were not able to save lives. Thank you all. This touches every heart in our city, touches every heart in our police department. And we are thankful that you are here to be able to spread that message for us. Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you all again for being here. With that, we're happy to open up to questions.
Attorney General, can you give an idea on just how impactful these changes, how broad does this expand in comparison to, say, an Amber Alert?
Yeah, right now, prior to this alert, there were a series of alerts in place in Wisconsin. One of them, I think the one that's best known, is the Amber Alert. There are strict criteria for the issuance of Amber Alerts. They go out statewide, and one of the thoughts behind the best practices that Amber Alert puts out is that we want to make sure that when people see these, they react and that they know that it's important. So there's a lot of thought given to when to put them out. At the same time, we want to make sure that information is getting out so that citizens who are able to help locate missing persons can do so. So we have a silver alert system for missing seniors. There are other alert systems as well. This one will add to the alert system in cases involving missing kids who are under the age of 10, subject to certain criteria. It will also add with kids of any age, again, subject to a slightly narrower set of criteria. So we expect that the number of this will meaningfully increase the number of alerts in the state of Wisconsin. We actually will be asking for some additional support for our folks who do this work at the Department of Justice as we move forward, but we do think that we're going to be able to incorporate this into the alert system and, as we saw earlier this week, hopefully help get alerts out there when kids are missing.
You raised a point there about increasing the number. I mean, do you think this would be, do you have any idea of how many we would be talking about? Is this twice as many as we get Amber Alerts? And also, how should we as the public respond when we get one of these alerts versus an Amber Alert? It seems like everybody's really ramped up about it. I know no missing child is something that we should be worried about, but is this a different level?
Yeah, so in terms of the numbers, we'll see how things play out as this program gets up and running. One of the things we want to do with announcing the launch of this is to make sure that people are aware of this alert system so that when there are cases where it could be used, people reach out to law enforcement and we get those alerts out. Each type of alert has different parameters for who it goes to and when it goes out. So this one will go out through various means, like I mentioned. I think the way that a lot of folks will see this is if you're within 5 miles of where a child was last seen before they've gone missing, you'll get that wireless emergency alert that a lot of us are familiar with. We do the same thing with silver alerts when there's a senior who's gone missing on foot. But in any of these cases where somebody's getting alert, we encourage members of the public to take them incredibly seriously. This is a missing person we're talking about. If you have information, getting it to law enforcement as soon as possible can help a family get their loved one home safely.
It's not as if this is less urgent, it's just that it may be more focused, more direct on where the alert goes to?
That's right. There will be more targeted area that's used for when these alerts go out.
You mentioned asking for more support for those that work with the Department of Justice that are helping create this and that helped create this. What do you mean by that?
We have just a few people. I think we've got 3 full-time positions who run all of the alert systems in the state. We actually had somebody retire recently. But having a few more folks who can make sure that system is operating and is able to run effectively, that's for all the alerts in the state, not only the missing child alert. is something we'll be hoping to work with the legislature on in the upcoming budget, because we don't want to have a circumstance where we have more requests for alerts coming in than our staff is able to handle. We want to get those out as quickly as possible and get feedback to local law enforcement and ultimately to families as quickly as possible.
And if I can add to that, these individuals work extremely hard. And we know that with this alert system, there's the probability of more alerts coming in. They are it. There's no first, second, third shift. These individuals are working tirelessly, and they are all we have. And for a state the size of Wisconsin, they need additional bodies, and that's going to take additional financial resources. So we want to make sure that they have everything that they need in order to implement not only this alert system properly, but all of the alert systems. I think I can safely say, to work for a state the size of Wisconsin, to only have 2 bodies doing this, most of us would quit. But these individuals are showing up daily, and they're doing their jobs, and they're doing their jobs without complaint.
On that note, how common are alert systems like this in other states?
Yeah, I believe, and Senator Johnson can probably speak to some of the things they looked at. Every state has a different set of alert systems. There are some that are common throughout the country. There are other states that have similar types of systems. Did you have a chance to compare? I haven't done a survey nationwide.
We did compare other states. As a matter of fact, that's where this alert system came from. We mimicked some of the other states that already had this system in place. I just can't remember what they are right now on the spot, but there are definitely other states that have this type of system in place.
All right. Well, thank you again for being here. I just want to echo what Senator Johnson said. Thank you to those of you in the press who've helped raise awareness about this issue. And thank you to everybody here who is helping to implement this program, to get the legislation passed. And we look forward to continuing to work together to bring as many kids home safely as we can. Thanks.